Hey there, this is Tracy Cotton with Morrow Insurance Agency, and today is this is the third in the series of agritourism and insurance tips. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about safety. One of the things that your insurance carrier is going to expect from you, as well as the visitors to your farm are going to expect from you, is for you to keep them safe. Now, we talked a little bit in one of the earlier sessions about how the agritourism law, the statute, the warning signs that you put up, it reminds anybody who's coming to your farm that it's inherently kind of a dangerous place, that you're out in the country, it's rural, there could be animals, there could be potholes, there's a lot of things it actually says in the law, but basically what it's saying is that it's, come out at your own risk. But what it doesn't say is come out and then we're going to just let you roam around and possibly hurt yourself. One of the things that you're expected to do is to do what you can to prevent injuries from any of your visitors to your farm or during whatever agritourism activities they're going to be participating in. And so, it's kind of a situation where you have to protect them from themselves. And so it's a little bit, tricky, but it's something that, and you can't obviously take care of everything. So that's what insurance is for. You can't prevent people from doing some of the things they're going to do or from accidents happening because they do. But the idea is that before you get started in your agritourism activities, that the best advice that I can give to you is to go through your whole property that you're planning on using. For that matter, the whole property, period, even parts that you don't think that they would have easy access to. But just be looking for ways to minimize the risk for somebody coming to visit. The best advice that I can give you along with that is to have a fresh set of eyes with you. You're there every day. You know about the little rabbit hole that, you don't want to step in. You know that a certain slope is slippery after a rain. You know that, you don't want people in your tool shed. So there's certain things that you already have some idea about, but having a fresh set of eyes, and I do encourage you to invite your insurance agent out and have them do the walkthrough with you, or at the very least, somebody who does not spend a huge amount of time on your farm. Somebody, a friend or a relative that is not so familiar with your farm that they're going to overlook some of the things as well. And do forgive me today. We're back on the tablet again, and I'm coming to you from my home today because it's a gloomy day, but I've got my very first appointment. First thing is at an orchard here in the area, and I have to leave straight from here instead of going to work first. So that's why you're getting this recording here. But going back to the idea of the walkthrough, it's the time to just take a real survey of what is there. If you're going to have people in certain buildings, how can they easily enter and exit? What if there was an emergency and you had a whole crowd of school kids in your barn and you're talking to them about things and giving them a little, maybe a demonstration of milking your cows? Is there more than one entrance and exit? It's even more important if you have people in a more seated environment. Say, for instance, you want to have weddings at your farm and you're going to use the loft of your barn as a reception area. Do you have more than one way up and down? 2 sets of stairs that are well lit, have a good stair rail, are sturdy. These are all the kinds of things that you might not think of initially, but they can mean such a difference to you from not only a pricing standpoint, because underwriters want to look at those kind of safety precautions and go, oh, these people actually, have taken the time to put in the time and effort and investment into upgrading to make sure that anybody that goes there is going to be safe and is going to be able to, to exit and enter safely from buildings. Along with the idea of buildings, any door you do not want somebody to open or go through needs to be locked. And I know that's a pain because you're like, okay, that means that later, when I'm just there doing the things that I do and I don't have a group of people out there doing whatever, just to even get to my tools, I'm going to have to unlock a door. It's either that or when somebody goes looking for a bathroom or a closet or just really curious as to whether or not there's more animals behind this door or what you're keeping behind that door. It's not just a safety thing. I mean, that's also a security thing. Do you really want people to have access, even in passing, to the possibility of taking off with your tools and equipment? On the note of tools and equipment, if you have a U-pick, make sure, especially for orchards, that you are putting away anything that they could actually try to climb up on to get further into a tree. For that matter, ladders in general, even if you don't have a U-pick. Really should be secured away somewhere. As crazy as it is, people will help themselves sometimes. They're like, hey, I think I could get a better view if I could just climb up something or another. And that means that, checking out to make sure that you've got, these areas, blocked off if it's someplace you don't want somebody climbing up into. If there's an area you really don't want somebody to get to, it unfortunately is your responsibility to prevent them from getting there. It's unfortunate. I talk to a lot of farms that even though they have a big closed sign, an open or closed sign at the road, that in off hours they've actually found people on their property. I mean, how crazy is that? But that's the reality. If you are operating an agritourism type of activity on your farm and people know that they can sometimes come out to your farm to visit, to do this, that, or the other, they may not think that it's any big deal to just come back and take a look around, even when it says closed, which is an assumption that you would think people wouldn't make because obviously, I don't go out to Lowe's and try to get into their garden center when it's obviously off hours. But there's a certain amount of curiosity that comes along with the agritourism, and for that matter, just farms in general, that anything you can do to try to prevent them from coming onto your property when they're not supposed to be there, or getting to parts of your property that are not considered safe, or that really you just want to keep private. This is not only for their safety, but this is also for your security. So again, I encourage you to get somebody to go with you as you walk around your property. And we are going to talk more about safety on Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about animals and having people interact with animals. But Friday, I want to talk more about, the fifth of these sessions, I do want to talk a little bit more about safety and signage, and making sure that you've got properly trained employees. But that's all for today. It's a lot, and I really appreciate those of you who've been following along. I've noticed some views, and I very much appreciate it. I want to just give another shout out to ASAP. You can't really see it very well in here, but this is one of their little bumper stickers. Local food, thousands of miles fresher. And it's the Appalachian Sustainable Agricultural Project. And on Saturday, I am going to be there at their Business of Farming Conference. We're going to be having a great time during most of the conference day. I will be at a exhibit booth, just talking to folks about any questions they have and just getting to know a little bit about the folks that are in the area that have come. I expect to see some new faces and hopefully get to see some folks that are familiar as well, because I volunteered with ASAP before. And I'm just looking forward to the agritourism presentation that's going to go on that afternoon. So if you're going to be at the conference anyway, I hope that you will pop in for the last session of the day, which is Lessons Learned from Agritourism. So we really appreciate you viewing and look forward to talking to you again next time. Have a great day.